Chippewa County Board of Commissioners to order. And as always, we start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Martin, how about you start us off with the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And will the clerk please take roll call attendance?
Commissioner Egan. Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McLean.
Here.
And Chairman Shackleton.
Here, we have a quorum and we'll proceed. We have additions, deletions, and approval of the agenda.
I move approval of the agenda as presented. Support.
Motion made and supported that we approve the agenda as submitted. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to the approval of county board minutes. We have one set of minutes from the regular board meeting of March 14th, 2016.
I move we approve those minutes.
I'll support.
Motion made and supported to approve the minutes, again, of the regular board meeting of March 14th. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the correspondence received in the clerk's office. That is on page 8. As always, a variety of correspondence.
I'd move that we acknowledge the correspondence received in the clerk's office and, if necessary, forward them to appropriate committees.
I'll support that.
Motion made and supported to acknowledge the correspondence and forward as appropriate. Is there discussion?
I had a couple here. Marquette Board of Commissioners urging state transparency. It looks like that's being fast-tracked, actually,
Okay.
which is good. Why should they be exempt from FOIA? It makes no sense. I don't know if we want to go forward with it or just let it rest for a month or so and see where it goes. And the other thing is on MTA, and they have a valid point that we would have to give a year's notice to any utility that say we're going to expand a road or move a road or do construction. We have to give them a year's notice, and if we don't, then we have to pay for their moving. They benefit by getting those right away for free. And it's always been a you scratch your back, or you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back relationship between the utilities and the road commissions. And now they're like, don't think so. And I think they have a point here, something we should look at maybe putting our stamp on, that
Okay.
this could be very difficult. Especially putting in a new business. If you've got a new business coming in and you want to put in a left-hand turn lane, and we've got to move a telephone pole, either the city or county is going to have to pay for that telephone pole, or we're going to have to wait a year, and we could lose that business. So I just see this as something that's unnecessary. To give them a year's notice to move a telephone pole or whatever. And now, of course, with fiber optics coming in, that's more utilities. That'll be more expenses for us. If we have business coming in, we need to do something and do it fast. Then we need to do it fast to get them in, so we don't lose them. And this could very much handcuff this either financially or physically. So.
And I think what you're talking about is item 4.
Item 4 there, yes.
The Calcasica one. I think any of those that any commissioners would like to have considered, we should ask Kelly to prepare a draft to localize it to Chippewa County and either bring it directly here or take it to legislative committee where it could be discussed thoroughly if we feel like we need to. Sometimes it's obvious and we don't really need to take it to a committee. We can just bring it here.
And as far as number 3, I was going to defer that to you and Commissioner Johnson, since you have ditches in front of your businesses. And I don't know if you want the federal government regulating that ditch, but with number 3, that's sure the way it's looking.
Well, old wetlands, right?
Oh, No, Corps of Engineers,
Oh,
federal
this is
government,
new.
this is federal overreach at its
Well,
highest level.
And I don't know the entire content of this particular one that you're referring to, but I will tell you that the federal government is where the wetland law begins. The state DEQ is enforcing federal law. And if the state wants to get out of it, they can say, we're done, we're not gonna do this anymore, and then the feds come in and do it. So but again, I'm not sure what
Yeah,
all the
well, this
ins and outs are
law
of this
would
one.
make our wetlands law illegal,
Huh.
null and void, and federal would supersede it.
Oh,
And the
so-
Corps of Engineers is gonna do whatever the Corps of Engineers wants to do. They don't answer to us or to Lansing, they answer to DC. And like I said, this is overreach.
Okay, well,
We're gonna take care of our waters.
I
Right.
think, excuse me,
go ahead.
I think you're right, Jim, and I think the thing that you hit on in the previous one about a year's time to get anything done, when you start dealing with the Corps of Engineers, it's years, not just a year, to get anything done. And I really think that we should look at the ones that you indicated, all of the ones that you just talked about relative to that, and farmers particularly are impacted by this water thing. I mean, if you have standing water in a ditch in the springtime, which is fairly common in the UP, particularly this end, you can't do anything to drain it because it's just really something that it may apply in some areas, but for this particular area, of the state, this would be really bad.
Okay, well, we'll do some work on those between now and the next meeting and be prepared to vote on them. All right? I think we still need to vote on the motion to approve the correspondence. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to public comments. Anybody who'd like to speak under public comments is welcome to do that now. We have, is this one working? Is the podium working?
The one sitting down has
The red
Okay.
light's not on,
Sit-
these two.
Use either one of these tables with the red light on the microphone so that, that you're heard loud and clear.
Well, can I just,
You use the- Go ahead. Go ahead, I think it'll pick them up.
Yeah, I think so.
It'll pick them up from the table.
I talk loud enough. I went to prison in September 26th of 2011, and I got out January 5th of 2015, and then I was rearrested in February. Said that I threatened a judge. I wouldn't even know what the man looks like. But they have the power, and the guy, I took a polygraph test, and of course I passed it, but the judge said he didn't care. So I came back to this jail until my release date was April 18th, and they kept me here until June 4th. But it wasn't these people at all. It was the court that told these people to let me out in June 4th. But what I want to do is tell you about some of the lies. Because we've got 2.4 million people in prison, and I think probably 1 million of them are there because police lie. And what I mean by police, it don't matter if it's ATF, the FBI, the sheriff, the deputies, state police, whoever. They're all police. But here's one. I'm going to start with this Coleman, Alexander Coleman. She's a supervisor, a legal instrument examiner. Knew or should have known that if I had been buying explosives for 25, 30 years, I must have had that right to purchase explosives then. It was incumbent of her to check this before she swore in a letter dated October 25th of 2011. It appears that Mrs. Coleman is located in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and this lady that issued it, she's in Georgia. One would think that they should be required to correspond with each other before Ms. Coleman would travel to Marquette, Michigan and falsely testify, knowing that if she told the truth, I would not have to go to prison. In short, she was told a lie, and 3 years later, I'm still in prison because of those lies. Now, here's another one. This Agent Declare. He testified that I purchased blasting agent from Pepinrico. He then went on to testify in line 13, 16 of this court transcript that I presented him with a license that looked like it was real license. It was not the right color, they did not know it was not a real license, and they sold me the explosives. And I brought a copy of all my application for a license or a permit. And there's like 20 pages. Assignment report where this woman spent 10 hours checking my background, and then Department of Justice responsibility person and employee questions. There's a copy of my federal permit to buy high explosives. Here's one to buy blasting agents, which is ANFO, fertilizer and fuel oil mix. There's a responsible person letter, and here's a responsible person questionnaire. And there's some more responsible person people, and then the magazine worksheet. Okay, so now this guy, he testified that I forged all this stuff. I said, now you're saying I forged it? He said, it's been done before. So I wrote a letter in 2014 to the Department of Justice, and I asked them I sent them copies of this, and I said, no, I have been informed that these documents I possess are not original and that they are not what is on file in your agency. And I said, so I want you to look these numbers up and send me true copies. I wrote to him in 2014, 2015, 2016. I haven't heard anything back from him yet. Now I'm going to tell you, here's the law. Now here's something that you're going to think is really strange. I went to the Court of Appeals in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this lady that was against me, she said, we know the laws, but the laws are so vast, the federal acquisition laws are so vast, that we didn't want to tell the jury because we didn't want them to be overwhelmed. Well, the federal acquisition laws are pretty vast. Maybe they're 3 inches thick, but if you're talking about firecrackers to rockets to everything, and even any building a battleship, you know, is still part of the federal acquisition laws. But the part that pertained to me was pretty much one sentence. All explosives must be kept in locked magazines meeting the standards in this subpart unless they are being transported to a place of storage, or used by a licensed or committee or by a person who has lawfully acquired explosives material. Okay, and I don't think anybody doubts that I used explosives for years and years, and that I legally acquired them. So what I think I'm going to do, if it's okay with you guys, is come in here every month and just tell you about lies and why I went to prison for 4 years. This woman lied, that man saying that I showed them, he, meaning I, showed them my permit. It wasn't the right color, it wasn't legal, they didn't know it wasn't the right, they didn't know it wasn't a permit, a real permit or something like that, and I sold them the explosives. All that's lies, because it's all numbered. They could have checked those numbers in a minute, which they do, because I call and I say, this is John Lechner, I need to get a ton of ammonia nitrate. And they say, okay, hang on a second. And they look it up on the computer, yep, you're all set to go. Because otherwise I drive from here to Ishpeming or here to Rogers City, and if there was something wrong, then I wouldn't be able to buy mail. So I make a phone call, because it's all computerized. They know in 10 seconds. But what I'm saying is that there's so many lies, and I know you guys can't do nothing about those people, and I don't expect you to. But the lies right here in Chippewa County, maybe you can do something about it. And I'm going to tell you about that. You know, it's going to take some time, and it's a lot longer than my little 5 minutes here. But then we'll go from there.
Okay.
And if anybody's got some questions, I want you to ask me, because I lived this. I slept on a steel bed for like 4 years. My shoulders didn't start working again for me until like within the last month. It was so bad you could take a mattress in Terre Haute, Indiana, and fold it over like 5 times. So you had 7 layers of mattress, and you could set it on your bed. You could take your sheet and fold it up and put it in your shirt pocket. And that's our stinking justice system. And this judge, he said, I'll never forget this. He said, we got to stop these people from running around with explosives. Like I'm running around with explosives? Like pretending. And then they say, well, he's worse than Timothy McVeigh. What? What? So much, so much, so much. And I'll look at this stuff and then I'll come back next month. But if anybody's got something, I mean, I lived it. I want to answer. I mean, I don't got nothing to hide. You know. And I went to the FBI and I told them, I said, these people lied. And they said, we made a report. And I said, well, I want to copy that report. Well, it was just a verbal report. So, oh, this is no good. That's the FBI. So then I went to the, and he did tell me. He said, this woman here, she's not going to lie. She's a secretary. She's a secretary. She's not going to lie and jeopardize losing her job. Well, I don't give a damn who she is. But she claims to be in charge of the United States, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. She said, I diligently searched. Lechner was never issued a permit. I didn't read that part, but it's in here. I diligently searched the United States, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. Lechner was never issued a permit. See, she can say that. Any one of these police can say whatever they want to say. And you'll hear a lot of damn funny lies here. You know, lawful funny lies. But I lived it. Ask me.
John, yeah, I've let you go on quite a bit longer than your 5 minutes.
Ask me.
We don't usually do questions and
I want
answers.
you to. I want you to. I've got nothing to hide.
No, I'm not with you personally. During public comment, we let people talk.
Yeah, I slipped, John.
So we don't,
We'll talk.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. You guys are gonna get tired of me talking.
Is that your stuff, John, at the, oh no, that was there, wasn't it?
That's somebody else.
Okay, all right. Yes, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to mention and remind, I should, that anybody can talk during public comment. It's your time. We're not gonna challenge you. We're not gonna debate you. It's your time to talk. So keep it reasonable, keep it 5 minutes, and you can talk. So, is there anyone else that would like to?
Thank you. See, but we gotta do something because this is a good country. This is a good country. But our justice system is really going to hell. We got 2.4 million people in prison, way more than any other country in the world. And the lies, damn lies.
Okay, thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Who else would like to speak under public comment? Come on up. Come on up. You can either take the podium if you like, but speak up so the microphone can get you from behind, or at the table where you are nice and close to the mic.
Brad Ormsby, Chippewa County Road Commission. Just kind of give you guys an update of where we're at and what's going on. Obviously, we're still under load limits, but we are getting ready to start our construction season. We've got probably the largest construction season, I'm told, in the last at least 30 years. Almost a little over a $9 million job on Sugar Island, which is going to start right directly. Give you guys a heads up, you may get some phone calls. But going to do everything we can to keep the island residents moving, keep everything going in that area. Pickford, redoing from Main Street all the way out over the bridge, almost to the Township Park. Sidewalks, curb and gutter, blacktop, from building to building, basically. So that is going to be a very, very large project this summer, along with Smith Asquith, that our engineer is having a baby. So we get to deal with that this summer, but congratulations to her. So anyway, going to be a very, very busy summer for us. As to, and I just want to let you guys know, obviously you're going to see us out and about. You're going to see our guys pretty much all over the county. 12 Mile, we're replacing a bridge with some state-of-the-art. It'll actually be the first bridge of its kind in the country. The Sugar Island Bridge, when it's complete, we don't have it back yet, but we're told that it'll be the largest county-owned bridge in the state of Michigan. So a lot of good things going on, a lot of neat, interesting things within the county. Bringing money into the county that's not our taxpayers' money, that we're bringing some taxpayers' money back into the county that's federal funds, state funds, and so on. So good things. As to your item 3 and item 4 that were in your correspondence, item number 3, which is the wetlands drainage issue with the federal government, we've been following it very, very closely. It is a very, very wide cast overreach. It is not only the road commissions that are following it, it's the Farm Bureau that's following it, it's many other things that are following it. And like you had said, Don, farmers in wetlands Chippewa County, we have a lot of standing water. That law specifically says standing water for more than 3 weeks, it is considered wetlands. It also goes into effect that any waterway that eventually reaches a major body of water, being around here the Great Lakes or the St. Mary's River, is considered a watershed. So all these drain ditches that farmers have dug over the years to drain their fields will be regulated under this Watershed Act, under the Army Corps of Engineers. It's a very, very wide casserole reach. As for item 4, with the utility companies, something that the road commissions are fighting very strongly. It's something that the railroad companies are fighting very strongly, because it's not just the road commission right-of-ways, it's also railroad right-of-ways. Those are road commission right-of-ways. They are owned by the road commissions. They are owned by the county. Utility companies are there at our giving them the use of it. Those utility companies in turn, it went back and said not only do they want us to give them a year to move stuff, but they also want us to pay for them to move it. And when you're dealing with fiber optics, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not dealing with an old aluminum wire. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when they deal with fiber optics, it's from point A to point B. It's not the splice in the middle. They replace the entire line. And so anyway, something that we as a road commission and you as county commissioners should be watching very, very closely in the legislature. It's being pushed by our utility companies very strongly, and those are our right-of-ways. They are there at our giving, and that's a really bad, both of those are really bad deals within our society right now. And that's from a road commission standpoint. I was actually glad that they were in your correspondence and I could bring it up, so. But other than that, great things happening. We got 50+ guys working and on the roads every day, and unfortunately, we're still dealing with the white stuff, but as soon as we can get that out of the way, frost is coming out of the ground, and hopefully by the end of the weekend here, or the next week, we'll be able to get the frost wells off and get things moving, so.
All right, thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Anyone? Yep, we got 2 more. I think we went 6 months without having anybody. I think the spring thaw or something.
Mr. Chairman and board, I'll keep it really fast and short. Just a quick announcement, we have the annual Rural and Ready Conference coming up this week. It will run with a variety of topics. There's a couple of big ones, and the Wednesday, April 13 topic that I thought you folks would be particularly interested in is the transport of, in this case, it's set up as if it were an Ebola patient. Our Kinross ETM, or our emergency transport operation out of Kinross with the ambulance service is one of the only qualified ambulances to haul out of Chippewa County any patient that has one of these diseases that are considered highly contagious. And the demonstration, I understand, is going to be really well done, and you may want to take that in, and that will be in the PM of that first day session. The other one I wanted to mention is on Friday, the 15th, from 8:30 to 1. We have one of the foremost experts on school safety coming in. And I've talked to some of the folks today at Rotary that are involved with the school system. They want to be there and send representatives. Thought you folks might be interested as well. And it'll be a workshop run by Ken Trump. And he's, again, considered one of the foremost experts, if not in Michigan, beyond that in the region. And hearkening back to this wetland thing, I wholeheartedly would agree with many of the comments said. I see it in the department. It's just getting tougher and tougher. When it was introduced under the Gamera Wetlands Act, back when I started working, it was about regulating bogs, marshes, and swamps. And I think we all had a pretty good idea what that is. Now we're splitting hairs over this stuff. And it gets getting worse and worse all the time.
Yep.
Takes your land out of productivity.
Yep. Thanks, Dave. We'll start printing those old bumper stickers again, my land's not wetlands, remember those?
Yeah.
But if you don't keep your land tilled
Yeah.
for so many years, it goes back to federal government regulation.
Come on up.
My name is Kaylin Cairns, and I am the sexual violence prevention educator with Diane Pepler Resource Center. And I was here a couple months ago to talk to you guys about teen dating violence. We have another awareness campaign starting, so I wanted to kind of come and talk to you guys about that. I'm sorry I did not make the agenda. I'm but one person and have been traveling and working with a lot of different things and didn't get it in soon enough. So April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the Sexual Violence Prevention Team of the Eastern Upper Peninsula and Diane Pepler are working to raise awareness for our victims of sexual assault. The statistics around sexual assault are staggering, with 1 in 6 women and 1 in 33 men experiencing sexual assault at some point in their life. And at DPRC, we work with our victims to help them to rebuild and rejuvenate their lives after this experience by providing them with services like counseling, legal help, housing assistance, emergency shelter, and just so much more. However, there's so much more we can do for them, especially as a community. So I'm coming to kind of give you awareness about what, as a commission and as a community, we can do. The biggest thing is believing our victims and stop asking the questions. Well, were you drunk? Are you sure that happened to you? What were you wearing? When the people come forward and say, you know, I was a victim of this, and then they hear that, they're like, well, I guess it wasn't that bad. I guess I did something wrong. I deserved this to happen to me. And these victims don't deserve that. No person deserves to be treated this way. And so we really need to end the blaming and make it a community discussion that we're not going to allow our citizens to be mistreated or disrespected. And we can do that through education. Many of you may have worked with teens, you know teens, your parents of teens, and to have that discussion on healthy relationships is huge. Sexual assault on college campus is at a staggering rate, with 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men experiencing sexual assault before they graduate college. And I think I said it the last time I was here, Michigan State just did a survey, and it shows that on Michigan State campus, women are at a rate of 1 in 4 to experience sexual assault before they graduate. And this is very underreported and underinvestigated, but it's up to us to educate our young people. Sexual assault is no longer the fear of walking to your car late at night or being grabbed and pulled into an alley, but 9 out of 10 victims know their perpetrator, and that's the realistics of it. I'm asking on the side that I handed you, on the back of the page was what I just kind of read to you guys, but on the side I handed to you is the Sexual Assault Awareness Proclamation, and I just would request that the Commission would proclaim April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Yeah, let me finish up with public comment. You're probably the last one, and then we'll figure out how to take care of that.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thanks.
Anybody else like to speak under public comment? Last chance, public comment? Okay, to the board, if you would like to consider this proclamation, I would suggest, well, first of all, do I see any interest in going back and, okay. So what I would like to do, to try to do this right, parliamentary procedure, is to ask you to, a motion to reconsider the agenda approval. If we vote to reconsider it, then you can vote to add this, okay? So that would be the motion I'd be looking for to do that.
I made the initial motion to approve our agenda. I guess I would like to amend that to add this sexual assault proclamation.
Commissioner, a motion to reconsider actually has to be made by the person who did not make the original motion.
I see.
I'll make a motion then to reconsider the agenda as presented.
support.
Okay, there is a motion made and supported to reconsider the original motion made to approve the agenda as submitted. All, do you wanna discuss that? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We'll now reconsider the motion of line item 4 of additions, deletions, and agenda approval.
That would be my place.
You may, yes.
Now, Jim, is there a question?
No, I just,
Besides the proclamation,
Yeah, we'll fix that.
approve April
we're gonna, when we get to it, I would suggest that we change that last line to say that the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the month to be,
I guess then it would be appropriate for me to add that we consider the proclamation of sexual assault, the sexual assault proclamation here.
to add it to the agenda.
April as such and such, as indicated.
Okay. So that's
That's the motion.
approval of the agenda with this addition to it. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support made, is there any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
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 Motion passes, okay. So we will add that to the agenda under new business 10B. Okay, and we'll deal with that further when we get down the agenda to that, which shouldn't take too long. There's not a real heavy agenda this month. We move to the administrator's report. Administrator German.
You see the various reports, Department of Veterans Affairs, Sheriff's Department, Warren Hospital, Animal Control. You'll see the Calacaska resolution on page 19. The Army Corps thing again, so you wanted some information on that. And besides that, we have, various situations going on with the unions right now. We are making some progress on that, and for the first time in 200 years, we have a heat sensor in the bell tower, so instead of that going up like a chimney, maybe we can actually save part of it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Administrator German. Moving to old business, we have two items under old business. One is the board appointment. We have a vacancy in the Department of Veterans Affairs. We have 4 applications: Don Cooper, Nicholas Hike, Robert John Lay, and Travis Rondo. And at this point in the process, what we would do is accept those applications, and next month we would vote on them. So we would need a motion for that.
That's so moved. Support.
Motion made, supported to accept those 4 applications as nominees for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to item 9B, which is the Three Shores CISMA, CISMA application and MOU. You will recall that they came before us and asked us to join as a partner in the Three Shores Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area. The board had wanted a little more detail regarding what a partnership means. They did submit to us the memo of understanding, which is what we would sign, and we had it reviewed by staff attorney. I believe our prosecuting attorney reviewed it. And he indicated that he did not see any problem for the county, short or long term, in going ahead and joining as they requested. So that's before us today.
I move that we join the Three Shores CISMA as indicated.
Okay,
I'd support.
so there is a motion made and supported. Is there discussion?
If you want to look at page 54, K and L, I think answer all of our questions. Non-binding agreement and non-fund obligating document. Wish we'd had that for Michigan Works.
Yeah. From now on, anything we sign is it.
Yeah.
All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to new business. Resolution A is a resolution of a tribute to Dave Jones. That is on page 59. Dave Jones is leaving the county. He's been a probation officer and worked for the county since 1988. And he's a good guy and done a great job for the county. And we'd like to recognize that.
I move that resolution.
I'll support.
The motion is made and supported that we approve the resolution, which is a tribute to Dave Jones. As with all resolutions, it is a roll call vote. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye?
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
and Chairman Shackleton.
Yes. Resolution B is the one that we just added. It is the sexual assault proclamation, whereas we would be proclaiming April 2016 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Again, I would suggest that on the last section, that instead of saying that I do, we don't do it like, like they would do it with a mayor, where a mayor proclaims it, we do it as a board. So it would say that the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month. And so we need a motion to approve it with that change or any other change that
So
you see
moved.
fit.
Support?
Motion made and supported to pass that proclamation. Any discussion? Will the clerk take a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
and Chairman Shackleton.
Yes, and that is also passed. So there you go.
Thank you.
Pretty efficient. We can be efficient now and then.
Don't start a trend here.
Yeah.
You're helping to keep my grant for another, hopefully 3-4 years.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
hope we,
like having a job.
I hope we help. Well, good. We're helping employment too. This is economic development. We're doing right here. We move to standing committee reports. The first one is Personnel Equalization Apportionment, Transportation, Health, and Social Services Committee. That is chaired by Commissioner Egan, who is absent, and Commissioner Johnson told me it was my turn to read the minutes, so I'm going to proceed with the board, with the report for that committee. We met on April 6th at 4:45 in the County Administrator's office. Members present were myself and Rudy Johnson. Members absent was Commissioner Egan. Others present was Commissioner Jim Martin and Sharon Kennedy, the Equalization Director. There are no additions or deletions offered to the agenda, and on motion of Commissioner Johnson, supported by myself, the agenda was adopted and presented. No public comments were offered. Item 1A was the agenda item of the 2016 County Equalized Values. Equalization Director Kennedy reviewed the process of arriving at equalized values, including land value, economic condition factor, appraisal, sales studies, the assessor, and boards of review function in the process, and ultimately the role of county and state in establishing the equalized value. Director Kennedy went on to present those 2016 county equalized values. The total 2016 equalized value for the county, boy, this is a big number. This is $1,333,000,000. Wait a minute, am I doing it right?
You are.
Okay, 14,476.
Right to the dollar.
All right. There's no sense. It's not very accurate.
No sense in
Yeah. Okay.
taxation.
Makes no sense. Director Kennedy went on to explain that the values presented on the report are the basis for completing the state-required forms, which must be completed and sent to the state before the end of April. The equalization process and the valuation presented were discussed in detail. It was moved by Commissioner Johnson and seconded by myself that the equalized values as presented by the Equalization Director be adopted as reported, and that all state forms that were required for the same be completed and filed as required by the state, be filed as required by statute, sorry. On a voice vote, the motion was unanimously carried, and we need someone to make the motion. I can't make that motion.
So moved.
Support.
Motion is made and supported. And that motion is that we do, that last motion, which is, turning on all the equalization stuff to the state. Is there any discussion?
I had a couple questions since Mrs. Kenny was in, we were gonna, hit on this.
Okay.
See that, I was looking at equalized values, and now I've had more time to digest this. Detour and Whitefish, decrease equalized value of over $3.5 million. What's going on out there, Mrs. Kennedy?
Sales.
That depressed?
represents just 2% in detour, 2.26% and only 2.09% in Whitefish. That also includes the veterans exemption reductions and the personal property exemption
Okay.
reduction. I can get you more of a specific count on that.
No, I was
We've
just,
also had sales studies indicated that they were overassessed, and so this is a corrective
Correction.
measure that the assessor has taken to come down to the ratio that the state recommends, of
And-
50% of true cash values.
and commercial in the city of Sault Ste. Marie, a lot of that is dark store.
Yes, a lot of that is the impact, the final impact, partially, of the dark store issue showing up on the assessment roll. Before that was a tax roll issue, and only the tax bills were adjusted, and now the assessment roll has to be adjusted to reflect the tax tribunal decision from last year.
Administrator German said things may be moving even faster in Lansing than we'd hoped,
I'm hoping.
so.
That'd be good.
We still have 2 appeals on this one for 2016 and 2017 already in the books, on the books, going forward for this particular taxpayer, and as well as the DPW.
And though, even if we get favorable legislation, those are still gonna stick?
Depends on what the legislation says. So,
Well put.
Thank you.
We still have a motion on the floor. Is there any other questions or discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Oh gosh, I thought that was it. We have a lot more.
not so easy.
This next page has got a lot of text on it, and no pictures. All right, this next item is,
I can get graphs.
again, this is continuing with the committee meeting of personnel equalization and apportionment and some other stuff, but that's what we dealt with for this meeting. The next item dealt with the tentative 2016 taxable values, truth and taxation, public hearing, summer tax roll processing, and required studies. As an informational item, Director Kennedy presented the tentative 2016 taxable values, explained the cap value formula, and reviewed the process of establishing the county's operating millage rates, the timetable involved, and the necessity of holding a truth and taxation public hearing. It was moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by myself, that the information presented be accepted into the minutes, and that the truth and taxation public hearing be scheduled for June 13th, 2016 meeting of the county board. And that Director Kennedy, as soon as the necessary data is certified and compiled, submit that information to the administrator's office and the board so that the hearing may proceed within the deadlines established by law. On a voice vote, the motion was carried, and we need a motion for that.
So moved.
Support?
Motion made and supported. Is there discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. The next agenda item is just other items of concern. Director Kennedy advised that the committee that Kelly Goldenbogen was welcomed to the Equalization Department on March 31st, having taken the place of Stacy Nelson, who moved into the appraiser position after Kathy Lope's retirement in February. The entire department is involved in the training process. Director Kennedy also explained that beginning with 2011, the continuing education requirements for certified personnel has increased to 30 hours in a 3-year period, in addition to specific annual mandatory class requirements, and it will cause a need to have the office closed once in a while, but very minimal. And it was moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by myself, that should the need arise and in the discretion of the equalization director, in order to accommodate attendance at continuing education classes with advance notification of administration, the office may be closed during those periods. And we need a motion for that.
So moved.
Support?
Motion is made and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Agenda item F, Commissioners unanimously complimented the Equalization Department on a job well done. There were no chairman's comments, and the meeting was adjourned at 5:25. I would like to offer these minutes for approval, but again, the chair of the meeting can't offer any motions, so
So
somebody
moved.
else has to.
Support.
Okay. Motion is made and supported to accept these minutes, of this meeting of equalization and apportionment of April sixth. Is there any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Did everybody get all that?
That was a good job.
Yeah, thanks. We move to one more, committee meeting report, and that is finance claims and account. Commissioner Martin.
Regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners Finance Claims and Account Committee was held on Thursday, April 7th, 2016, Chippewa County Building, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Called the meeting to order at 5:30 with a quorum present. Myself, Commissioner Shackleton, Commissioner McLean, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Egan was absent. Also there were Tyler Johnson, Tina Ojala, Jim German, and Kelly Church. Moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to approve the agenda as provided on a voice vote. That did carry. There was no public comment offered. And we went through the monthly travel report, monthly visa statement, and everything was on the up and up. Our agenda items: Fund 263, part-time personnel and budget. Long story short, we were updated by Commissioner German regarding the rehiring of part-time staff to help process concealed weapons permits, which are now through the clerk's office due to a change in the state law. In order to streamline and localize the process, we went with a part-time staff member who has experience in such things and have an appropriate background in Michigan State Police to assist the clerk. Hence, it was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve the request for part-time help, review and advise the clerk with concealed weapons permits that are issued through the clerk's office, and to authorize the position for a year, reviewing that position in 6 months, and including a budget amendment of $4,500 to the salaries in line. On a voice vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made and supported to, hire that person to help out. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
All right?
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Next agenda item was visiting judge request for June 1st through August 31st with the state of Michigan to reimburse 75%. We got a memo from Court Administrator Tina Ojala with regards to covering the courts. We have spent all of our visiting judge money for the year, visiting judge money for the year, not obviously the entire legal thing. Since this is a result of the state of Michigan decreasing our number of judges here, this is a product of that, and henceforth they have indicated they're willing to pay 75% reimbursement of the county to help offset this issue, and that is a great deal for us. Hence, it was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to approve the arrangement for a permanent visiting judge for a period of June 1st to August 31st with the state of Michigan reimbursing 75% of the cost to the county. On a voice vote, that motion was carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Is there discussion on that motion?
I just think it'll make for much more consistent judgeships as opposed to the judge de jour that
Yeah.
we've been experiencing of late. It'll be more consistent. It'll be better for our legal system here in the county.
Yeah.
The state of Michigan, every once in a while they do something right, and they did in funding this. So
All right.
it's a good thing.
All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Committee reviewed 2 RFQs that will be released for panic button silent instant notification system, which is not budgeted for but will be paid for through Building Maintenance Fund 226. The possible funding from MMRMA RAP grant, which the administrator has submitted. The second is for 2 Intel-based server class machines, computer license upgrade, and this computer upgrade is already in the budget for 2016. Hence, it was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to release the RFQs as presented, one for the panic button silent instant notification system, another for the 2 Intel-based server class machines and VMware computer license upgrades. On a voice vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
All right?
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
We then took a look at the bills. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton, to recommend the approval of March bills and payroll as follows. The general claims totaling $222,745.30. The other fund claims of $346,894.26. Payroll of $454,850.43. Health Department claims of $515,089.04. for a total claim of $1,539,579.03 and vouchers H1 through H310 on a voice vote. That motion carried, and I would so move.
Sold. Oh. I'm sorry, that was an auction.
I'm trying to
Motion.
support this time.
Motion made, I'm sorry, was there support that I drowned out? It is supported, who supported it?
Did I buy something?
Yeah. You have to pay the county bills this month, that's a good deal. Commissioner Johnson supported. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
We're having way too much fun. All right. Committee and chairman also discussed current problems with unfunded liabilities with Michigan Works, which is in the works, and the dark store issue, future budgets and sales tax holidays. We then had Commissioner McLean move, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to adjourn the meeting, and we declared the meeting adjourned at 6:04 p.m. I would make a motion that these minutes be accepted as presented.
Motion made and supported to accept the minutes of the Finance Claims and Accounts Committee meeting of April 7th, 2016. Any discussion on the motion before you? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to item 12, Commissioner Report on Meetings as Board Representative and General Comments. Commissioner McLean.
With Dave Jones retiring, I want to mention a few things about him. When he started in 1988, I was the assistant principal at the high school. And I worked with him for 5 years, both at the high school and at the junior high where I was principal. And he was just an outstanding young man, and he continued in that capacity. He was extremely organized, efficient, and very helpful and considerate of the kids that he had to work with, kids in trouble. And he did a lot for them, and I think we were really lucky to have him for 28 years. I couldn't believe it was 28 years. I had to go through the numbers. But he will be very, very, very missed.
You are correct, sir. Anything else?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
I had a chance to visit our building over at Kinross today with Mr. Savoy and Mr. Bittner. Pretty impressive. We got a lot of equipment out there, millions of dollars worth. It hasn't cost us a whole bunch, a lot of grant money. Very well taken care of. Looks to be very well maintained. Still got snow there. I wasn't impressed with that. We got a lot of it's stuff you got that you hope you never need. But boy, we need it. If your kid's over an ice floe, that's and they've got it set up so that it can be moved fairly quickly. You get hooked onto and gone. And after that meeting, I went up to the dog pump. Would it be correct? People say soul, like say dog pump.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went up there and they put in some styrofoam that quieted it down. That place always seems to be quite clean, and that's hard to do with that many animals around. But them people do quite a job, and they're kind of low on animals, dogs and cats, which is rare. But a lot of nice improvements, and I guess more to come. And I guess both places I went today, well, 3 places. I went down to Scott's Golf Course too, and I was impressed with all 3.
Do we? Oh, thank you.
And I can't wait to see that on YouTube when you did this sale.
Yeah.
And that's my comment.
All right, well, thank you. Anyone else? I think we would move to item 13.
Move adjournment.
Do I have a support?
Support, I guess.
Motion made and supported to adjourn. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned.
That's all I really have.